migration. Okay, in my previous lesson, I've talked about the people migration. Today we are going to study animal migration. In this lesson, we are going to answer some questions about the text, animal migration, decide if some sentences about the article are true or false, and to correct the false statements. Choose the correct words between brackets to complete some sentences, then answer some interview questions in words. Okay, what is animal migration? Now look, here we have the animal migration. Animal migration means the movement of an animal from the place where it has been living to a new place and the return journey. Now, why do you think animals migrate? Look at this. We have zebras and we have gazelles. Okay, many animals migrate for better food and water supplies during the dry seasons, like gazelles and zebras. Look at the second pictures. Here we have the gray whale. Others migrate to give birth, like the gray whales. Look at the following pictures. Here we will talk about birds. Birds migrate for food and nesting locations, while turtles move to lay eggs. Okay, now what types of animals migrate? How often do they migrate? And where do they migrate? Do you want to know the answers to these questions? Okay, then let's read the article. Before we read the article, we have a question. You are going to read an article about why animals migrate at certain times of the year. Which is the best definition of the verb to migrate? We have three definitions. You have to choose the best definition for the word migrate after reading the article. Now, the first choice, travel to live in a warmer place, sleep during the winter. The third choice is move somewhere to find work. Okay, now let's move to the article. Okay, now let's listen to the article.
Migration. When we talk about animal migration, we mean the movement of an animal from the place where it has been living to a different place and the return journey to that animal's original home. Most animal migrations are recurrent events which happen at certain times of the year. Animals usually migrate to find food or to raise their young. Incredibly, most migrating animals follow the same route every year and from generation to generation. Land animals may cross mountains or forge through rivers, while birds and insects travel extensive distances, sometimes across continents and oceans. Fish and other sea creatures may migrate halfway around the world. For example, the gray whale can travel as much as 20,000 kilometers. Many animals migrate to northern regions during the northern summer because the long summer days mean that there is always plenty of food. In the autumn, when the weather gets colder, many animals migrate south to find food and warmer weather, the southern summer. Some animals migrate every year, doing the two journeys in 1 year, but others migrate only if they need to find food or for more temperate weather.
Okay, let's move to the definition of to migrate. Have you found the answer? It's travel to find a warmer place. While move somewhere to find work refers to people who migrate from their country to another. Sleep during the winter is a definition of the verb to hibernate. Okay, now we have some difficult words in this article. Let's see some of them. Now find words which means the following. The first one is first. What's the word that means first? It's original. The second one, advance steadily or move forward. It's forge. Okay, very long. What's the word that means very long? Very long distances, of course. Here we are talking about very long distances or extensive distances. Okay, now for occurring often or repeatedly. It's recurrent. The fifth one, having mild temperature, it's temperate. Now, bring up children. What's the word that means bring up children? It's raise, to raise children. Now, a living thing or animal, it's creature. Large quantities, when we have large quantities of something, we say that we have plenty of them. So the word is plenty. Unbelievable, something that's hard to believe, it's incredible. Now let's move to the second slide. Here we have some questions about this text. Let's read the questions. Why do animals migrate? Why do others not migrate? The second question. Why do some animals migrate northwards in summer and southwards in winter? 6. Do all animals make the same number of migrations every year? How do land animals migrate? And the last question, what does the word they in bold in the text refer to? We are going to listen again to the text, then you have to find the answers.
Animal migration. When we talk about animal migration, we mean the movement of an animal from the place where it has been living to a different place and the return journey to that animal's original home. Most animal migrations are recurrent events which happen at certain times of the year. Animals usually migrate to find food or to raise their young. Incredibly, most migrating animals follow the same route every year and from generation to generation. Land animals may cross mountains or forge through rivers, while birds and insects travel extensive distances, sometimes across continents and oceans. Fish and other sea creatures may migrate halfway around the world. For example, the grey whale can travel as much as 20,000 kilometers. Many animals migrate to northern regions during the northern summer because the long summer days mean that there is always plenty of food. In the autumn, when the weather gets colder, many animals migrate south to find food and warmer weather, the southern summer. Some animals migrate every year, doing the 2 journeys in 1 year, but others migrate only if they need to find food or for more temperate weather.
Okay, now the first question. Have you found the answer? Why do animals migrate? Animals migrate to find food or to raise their young. Okay, now why do others not migrate? Of course, because they don't have the same needs. Okay. Now the second question, why do some animals migrate northwards in the summer and southwards in winter? The days are longer in the south, in the summer, so food is more available, or there are plenty of food. In the south, it's warmer than in the north's winter month. Do all animals make the same number of migrations every year? Some animals migrate every year doing the 2 journeys in 1 year, but others migrate only if they need to find food or for more temperate weather. Now, how do land animals migrate? They may cross mountains or forge through rivers. What does the word they in bold in the text refer to? Let's see the word in the text. Okay, some animals migrate every year doing the 2 journeys in 1 year, but others migrate only if they need to find food. Okay, here, what does the word they refer to? It refers to animals. Now we have some sentences. You have to decide if these sentences are true or false, and you have to correct the false ones. Let's see the first one. Animal migration always involves returning the same season. Do they return in the same season? And here we have always. Of course not. It can be in different seasons. The second one. Most animals migrate to escape from their enemies. Do they migrate to escape their enemies? Of course not. So this is a false statement. They migrate to find food and raise their young. Now the third one. Many animals migrate at the same time every year. Yes, they migrate at the same time every year. So this is a true sentence. The next one. Animals make the same journeys as their mothers and fathers did. In the text, we have from generation to generation. Yes, so it's true. The next one. Many animals migrate south in the summer. Do they migrate south in the summer? Of course not. They migrate north in the summer. Or we can say they migrate south in the winter. Okay, now the next one. Finding food is rarely the main reason of a migration. Rarely? Is it rarely? Of course not. So this is a false statement. We can say it's one of the main reasons. The last one. Okay, now what types of animals migrate? I have asked you this question at the beginning of my lesson today. Let's see. It is found in all major animal groups, including mammals, like for example gazelles, fish, insects like butterflies, birds, and reptiles, like turtles, for example. Okay, now answer these interview questions in words using the information in brackets. We have an example. How many students are there in your class? There are 25 students in my class. Let's see the first one. When was your school opened? It was opened in 1975. Okay, the second one. What's the address of the school? It is 17 10th Avenue. Or the address is 17 10th Avenue. How many students go to your school? About 1,750 students go to my school. Choose the correct words to complete these sentences. The first one. Some human activities are destroying or destruction the natural world. Okay, now let's see. We have the word destroying, which is a verb, and we have destruction, which is a noun. But here we want the verb. Some human activities are, and here we have the present continuous, so we have to use destroying. The second one. Unemployment is falling as more people find permanent or permanently work. Okay, the word permanent is an adjective, yes, while permanently is an adverb. Here we are describing the word work or describing the noun work, so we want an adjective. So we have to use permanent. The third one. Average earn or earnings are expected to double in the next 10 years. Okay, average earn or earnings. Earn is a verb, earnings is a noun. Of course, here we want the subject, which is a noun, so we have to use earnings. Okay, now 4. It has been a disaster or disastrous year for the tea industry. It has been a disaster is a noun, disastrous is an adjective. We say that after a, which is an article, we use nouns. But the noun here is year. We are describing year. So we say it's a disastrous year. Okay, the last one. Storms caused the destroy or destruction of most of the crops. Okay, let's see the words. Destroyed is a verb, yes. Destruction is a noun. Storms caused the, after articles we use nouns, yes, so we have to use destruction. It's the end of my lesson today. Thank you.